Langston Walter-Wu on my left, Arjun Appa on my right. Quite a turn of fortune for one of the great doubles teams in California, and certainly the University Trojans relied on just that grit and that will, the determination, that veteran poise in the super tiebreaker, where they rebounded from a 2-6 setback earlier to Barnes and Tran from Corona Del Mar, get them 7-4 in the super tiebreaker, pushes University over the top 4-2 in the super tiebreaker, and obviously a big victory in a rematch from a contest that was played earlier in February, where obviously you guys are significantly better, they're significantly better, and I can't wait to see round 3 in the Southern Section playoffs and potentially round 4 in the regionals. Langston, I mean, obviously, I knew that you guys concluded the day, with a lot more positive momentum, but even when there's like multiple hours in between the first time that you saw them, like, are you guys able to kind of revert back to that and say like, hey, very few times in a high school tennis match do I get a chance for a do-over, but we do, so let's take advantage of it. Like, what were you guys most mindful of going back out there against them?
Yeah, I mean, I think we really wanted to try to get as fast a start as we could. We really tried the first 3 points to like really as much as we could. And we started off with a good first point, volley put away, and then 2 points in a row with good returns that forced misses.
The fact that you guys were watching the end of Daniel out there and Gavin out there, and it's like literally everybody's hanging on not only every point but every game, because it could have been a situation where you could have won, and then obviously it ended up being once Mason got that second game against Daniel, I was like, okay, now we're going to a super tiebreaker. In terms of you guys getting another opportunity to go out there and make a difference for this team, how much motivation was there for you and Arjun?
I was a lot of motivation. I mean, just the opportunity to avenge the loss we took just earlier in the day, the opportunity to help just win the match for our team. It was really great.
Arjun, obviously, if you come and you put on a university polo and shorts and grab a racket, you live for moments like this. And I mean, obviously, even if you hadn't played them back in February, but the fact that you did, like, just how good does it feel not only to be the better team when it's all said and done today, but just, the mentally tougher team, the team that probably wanted it just that 1% more at the end, and especially to do it at home. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think it was great. I think we learned a lot about ourselves and like how we perform under pressure, and that's very important for as we go deeper into the playoffs and regionals, and we face more tough matches later on. You're
literally reading my mind. I mean, when you have the courage and the heart and the grit that not just the two of you but the whole group showed today, how much did Gavin grow up today in the span of like 3.5 4 hours? Like, just how much more optimism and excitement is there about what the potential could be for this group of University Trojans in the postseason?
Like obviously beginning of the season, after like the tough loss, we were a little bit like down in the dumps, like trying to rebuild our identity. But this win really proved that we're still like a very top team and we can still compete at like the highest levels.
What is it like? I mean, both you and Langston, it's like we completed our 3 sets, and now we can really sit back and watch Daniel and Gavin play. What is that? When you don't have the racket in your hand and you have no control over it, what is that ebb and flow like?
Well, I was really hoping Daniel's gonna win that 6-1, so we're gonna have to go back out there. But it is what it is, and when you get those opportunities, you just have to go out and execute and do your job.
Absolutely. And Langston, obviously, I think both coaches, Jamie for Corona Del Mar and obviously Coach John Kessler for you guys, was like, we got to play fast because daylight is at a premium. But like you said, like to really come out and be purposeful and intentional from the beginning. What do you hope that performance against Barnes and Tran does for you guys as you get ready for a really significant part of your season?
I think I hope to help a lot with our confidence. Be on a rebound from such a tough loss and come out and just really like it was over very, very quick. Yeah. I think we might have been the first one off.
You were, yeah. You might have been trailing for a large portion of the day, but just the fact that this group has you and Arjun and this group has the mental toughness, right? Because the second round, a team that doesn't have that level of grit, and like mental toughness and emotional stability. I mean, it was 2 tiebreakers that went against you guys, a 6-4 that went against you guys. Like, just what does it say about the fact that you guys can be so resilient and show so much perseverance just in the span of one high school tennis match? Because it was really like multiple chapters along the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was really amazing. I was personally surprised by how well Gavin played. I mean, like you heard earlier, he came out with a sore shoulder, and he comes and just beats the number 2 player of CDM.
Right. And then he was there was like hand cramps or something that was going on in the in the tiebreak, and he still wanted to go out there and play. Like no one actively wants to say, I just lost a heartbreaking tiebreaker to Mason, but I want to play Ivan. But he did. So how do you hope that gives him belief, which can only make the group better in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really great for him. Being such a young player as a freshman, he really has to figure out his place on the team and where he'll be in the future with the team as well. And I think this really helps solidify his placement as one of the mainstream players.
Awesome. Arjun, last thing. I mean, obviously, any university team always believes that you can win a section championship, a regional championship, a state championship, not just because you won, but again, like just showing that resilience and that perseverance, that poise, composure, and maturity under pressure. Does that give you even just greater enthusiasm and greater belief, more affirmation and validation that we can run this gauntlet again and maybe get all the way back to Fresno?
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially with we had a lot of new faces this year, like losing 5 of our 9 starters last year. Like, it was really important to see like where we were as a team, and I think today really proved that. And especially specifically for me, like I haven't played many top intense varsity matches over my freshman and sophomore year. So today was really important for me.
Today was a baptism, Arjun.
Getting my footing.
Most definitely. Yeah. Well, obviously, we know when the time is asked that university will always rise to the occasion. Langston Walter-Wu, Arjun Appa certainly did, from 2-6 against Barnes and Tran in the first round to 7-4 in the tiebreaker, and a huge reason why the Trojans prevail 4-2 in the super tiebreaker after going 9-9 and 78-78 during regulation play. Guys, stay healthy and best luck going forward.
Yeah, thank you.